Benchmark 3, Observation and Data Collection. After the permission is gained from the appropriate people, you can schedule an observation. When you show up for an observation, you're going to choose an observation instrument to use in order to collect data. Some of those observation instruments might be anecdotal records. An anecdotal record is when you jot down facts, nothing subjective. So a fact would be the child is throwing themselves on the ground and crying. And a subjective note might be something like the child is being a brat and throwing a temper tantrum. You want to make sure that the things that you write down are facts and they are objective. Don't use any value-laden words like he's being bad or naughty, that sort of thing. You might choose to use something like a time sampling. A time sampling is where you write down where the child is when they're there, how long they stay there, what's going on during that time, where do they move to. A way to help you do that is you might draw a map of the room where the child is, and then each place the child goes to, make an X and then an arrow to where they go next. Make a note of the time. Put a time when they start, when they move, when they finish. So that's a time sample. You might do an event sampling, something, what do the child seems to be interested in, what happens next, what happens after that. So those are different ways that you can take down data. You're going to establish a baseline of frequency and duration and intensity of behavior. And I want you to save that raw data, even if it's handwritten. I want you to save it for later use. You will be scanning it and turning it in with your assignment. It's an important part of your assignment. Don't worry about typing it up. The raw data needs to be included. Your typing up part will come when you submit your assignment. There's a template for you to use called the Template for Observation Assignment, and to gather more information beyond the instruments that you're using. So that template is going to have the child's name, their age, and when I say age, I want you to put year and months, their gender, and the type of observation tool that you used. You're going to be graded on this template in different sections, so it's really important for you to pay attention to exactly what goes in each template, in each section of the template. So the first part is about collaboration, and I want you to include what you've learned about the target child from the interview and collaboration with classroom teachers and or parents. And you must demonstrate that you know what this should look like even if you didn't get a lot of information. If you summarize the interview here, then interview questions will be provided with raw data and verification forms. The next part is interaction of teachers with students. If this applies, if you're going to be with the teacher and students, then I want you to give 4 examples of how the teacher interacts with the students in the classroom. How does the teacher build positive relationships? How does the teacher respond to students? What's her tone? So make sure that you are detailed in that. 4 examples. The next step is the children's interactions with each other. Give at least 4 examples of how children in the classroom interact with each other. Again, if you didn't observe in the classroom, then you might observe how a sibling might interact with the child. The next part is about the classroom physical environment. Give at least 4 examples of what the teacher does to design a supportive environment for children to be successful. What evidence do you observe? What materials? How is it developmentally appropriate? Is it in good repair? Are there areas where more than one child can play with toys? Are there enough toys to share? What's the layout of the classroom? Is it cluttered or organized? Classroom expectations, are they posted? Do they have a daily schedule? Are toys and materials labeled and sorted in bins on shelves? Is there a defined play space? Are there visual aids to support the understanding of expectations? And again, if this is in the home, is the home disorganized? Does it look like there's places for children to play? What's going on? Is the playroom the same as where the TV is, and is there noise going on? That sort of thing. The next one is about social emotional strategies in action. I want you to give at least 4 examples. Share what you observed as it pertained to building relationships and classroom expectations. Is the teacher prepared, organized, Notice when children, what they're doing and what is expected. Are they reinforcing what is expected and how are they doing that? What specific strategies do you see? Does she go over circle time rules when children come into the carpet for songs? Is there a transition plan put in place? Is there a cleanup plan put in place? Again, if this is in the home, try to look at those sort of things in the home. Do the parents make the child clean up? When it's time to come to dinner, is there a signal that everyone comes to dinner? Do they all come to dinner? Do they sit at the dinner table and look at their phones? What are they doing? And the last part is about documented behavior of the target child. So there's examples in the template that, there's an example that's provided for you in your course. And the example is of a 4-year-old child and some behaviors that were observed. Note that he does have some skills that he can do. 5 examples were provided. You need to provide at least 4 examples. Then you move on to the reflection of the observation experience. What was learned from this observation? Students reflect adequately on the areas of social, emotional skills that were in the pyramid that are in your PowerPoint. Building supportive relationships, designing supportive environments, social emotional teaching strategies, and makes connections between these or lack of them in the child's behavior. And I want you to reflect on practice and look for additional strategies. And then you also will be graded on your written expression. Make sure that you proofread it, that it is written clearly and effectively, that you use paragraphs, that you check your spelling, that sort of thing.